the Fired Up Network. Welcome to a special Sunday night edition of Beyond the Score. A lot to get into. I'm going to be joined by a couple of Fired Up Network staffers, but let's begin with big news in the golfing circles. Nick Taylor, Canadian by the way, from Vancouver, enjoyed an inspiring performance on home soil, beating Tommy Fleetwood in a marathon four-hole playoffs at the RBC Canadian Open and won the Canadian Open today. And it was a great moment for Canada and Canadian golf. It's the first time a Canadian has won the Canadian Open since Pat Fletcher in 1954. Yes, 1954. Great day for Canadian golf. And that was really something to behold as Nick Taylor beats Fleetwood in a four-hole playoff at the Canadian Open. Really great stuff. Another great stuff, and it's not Canadian, but Novak Djokovic. Well, he wins his record 23rd Grand Slam by defeating Ruud in the French Open final. Novak Djokovic once again proved he's on top of the game. He won his match 7-6, 6-3, 7-5 in 3 hours and 13 minutes to capture the French Open for 2023. Congratulations to Novak Djokovic. That's not all. The Blue Jays made a remarkable comeback and they beat the Minnesota Twins to salvage one game of the three-game series as Calvin Biggio hit a three-run homer in the eighth. They were down 6-1. The Blue Jays won 7-6. They have an off day before opening up a serious, critical series against the Baltimore Orioles on Tuesday in Baltimore. And Kevin Gausman did not have it today. He went 4 2/3 innings, but the Blue Jays prevailed in this one. Also, Davies, Canadian soccer player, said Barcelona didn't want him because he was Canadian. As you saw last night, UFC 289, Amanda Nunes retained her titles and then retired from the world of MMA there. Great to see Amanda Nunes, but she retiring from the UFC and MMA. Also, in the under 20 soccer tournament, and this was a big surprise, and it hits me very well. There you go. Israel beating Korea 3-1. Israel goes to the final, and they play Uruguay as Uruguay won 1-0 today. So it's Israel and Uruguay in the final of the under 20 in soccer there. A side note here, I'm just going to give you all the scores, and then we're going to be joined by a couple people. As you know, the Stanley Cup has 2 days off before they start again. Game 5 happens in Vegas on Tuesday, June 13th, 8 p.m. Vegas up 3-1. It could be partying like 1999. Yes, 1999. Vegas could win the first ever Stanley Cup on Tuesday. The NBA will be back tomorrow, 8:30, with Game 5 of that series, and the Denver Nuggets go back at home, leading the Miami Heat 3-1. Denver could close it out tomorrow. We'll have a preview and review of that game tomorrow right here on the Fired Up Network. Now, Major League Baseball scores for today. The Jays got by the Twins, as mentioned, 7-6. Bottom of the seventh, Yankees lead the Red Sox 2-1. Finals, Diamondbacks 7, Tigers 5. Cleveland shuts out Houston 5-0. Phillies beat the Dodgers 7-3. Orioles get by Kansas City 11-3. Nationals defeat the Braves 6-2. Pirates beat the Mets 2-1. Andrew McCutchen records his 2000th career hit. He becomes the fifth after player and 288th all-time to reach the milestone. The Rays all over the Rangers 7-3. Miami 6, Chicago White Sox 5, Oakland 8, Milwaukee 6, Cincinnati 4, St. Louis 3, Colorado 5, San Diego 4. The Giants clobber the Cubs 13-3, and the Angels beat the Mariners 9-4. And one MLS match done today so far. St. Louis and LA Galaxy played to 1-1 draw. 10 o'clock, it will be FC Dallas into Portland, in case you missed it last night. TFC and Nashville playing to a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw last night at BMO Field. And in the Canadian Football League, Week 1 in the Canadian Football League closes out tonight, but the scores, in case you missed it, Thursday, as I predicted, I beat John Nelson with this one. BC goes into Calgary and beats the St. Peters 25-15. We both got this game right. Friday, June 9th, was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers beating the Hamilton Tiger Cats 42-31. We both got this one right. Yesterday was Montreal 19, Ottawa 12. And right now, Edmonton leading Saskatchewan in the third quarter, 6 minutes left. 13-11. By the way, the Argos, the reigning defending Grey Cup champions, have a bye in Week 1. They begin their week next week at BMO Field next Sunday, Father's Day night, 7 p.m. versus the Hamilton Ticats. 15,000 fans. Get a ring. Go and support the Argos. They are the Grey Cup champions. Now, in the WNBA, it was the New York Liberty beating the Dallas Wings 102-93. Brianna Stewart, 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. The Aces beat the Chicago Sky 93-80. It was Washington Mystics 71, Seattle Storm 65. And Sue Bird had her number retired. Connecticut Sun 89, Atlanta 77, Phoenix 85, Indiana 82, and the Sparks beating the Lynx beating the Sparks 91-86. That's 91-86 in that one. And also in Serie A, Verona victorious today 3-1 by defeating their opponents as well. And in friendly action so far today, it was Pakistan tying their opponent 0-0, Trinidad Tobago defeating Guatemala 1-0, and Chile beating Cuba 3-0. Chile, Cuba, Spanish, okay? So there you go with all the scores in the sporting world today. I just want to see one other note, hockey note here. It looks like goaltender Halbach from Winnipeg is not interested in signing an extension with the Jets. He's not interested in signing an extension with the Jets, so look for him to be traded very, very soon. I'd like to take the special opportunity and thank everybody who's watching and hopefully going to be listening to it on the Fired Up Network audio app. But I want to say special hello to Patricia. Hello, Patricia. And we're going to be joined by a couple of great people from the Fired Up Network. You haven't seen them in a long, long time. Big time Montreal Canadian fan. Yes, Justin Levine. And then Drew Ebanks will hopefully join us later on today. Also, just a side note, Fired Up Network is now on over 30 apps. Over 30 apps included our Viva Live TV, Momito, and Flickhouse. Download them and also watch them on Roku, Amazon Fire TV Sticks, Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, Android TV, LG Smart TVs, Philips TV, and Hisense. There's no excuse why you don't get the Fired Up Network on over 30 apps. So you just go to, let's say, Flickhouse, download it. If you have a Roku TV, you can watch it on Roku. If you have an Apple TV, watch it on Apple. This face is meant for TV, all right? Meant for TV. And don't forget, you can watch all our shows also on the Fired Up Network app. Download the Fired Up Network app on iOS and Android. Just search Fired Up Network in the Apple Store or Google Play Store, and also on firedupnetwork.ca. You can watch our shows. You can listen to the shows. We have 18,400, over 18,400 shows for you, and you can listen on 212 platforms, to name a few: Amazon Music, Alexa, Iheartradio, Spotify, iTunes, Soundcloud, TuneIn, Podbean, Stitcher, Spreaker, Anchor, Castbox, etc. And check out Fired Up Network on social media: Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, Discord, Clubhouse, Clapper, Pinterest at Fired Up Net. That's Fired Up NET. YouTube and Snapchat at Fired Up Network. And also on Facebook, go into the group, look for Fired Up Network. You can watch it there. Fired Up Network, the place to get all your sports entertainment news there. Again, we're going to be joined by Justin Levine. We're going to talk a little hockey with Justin, a little ladies hockey as well. Don't forget, Taylor Woods will be back here for the post game of Game 5 between Vegas and Florida. Justin's joining in right now. Justin, how you doing?
Not bad, thanks. How are you?
First of all, a big celebration for you. Israel is in a final for the under 20 soccer. So, shalom, all the best to Israel. Mazel tov, right?
Yep, I heard about that. That's really exciting. So I'm really excited to watch that.
All right, Justin, by the way, now it looks like you got a haircut. Now you're on over 30 apps and all over the world. So, I know you speak English, you speak French, and all. You want to say hello to everybody around the world?
Hello, everyone around the world. Super
No,
cool.
no, not in English, in Swahili. Do some other language.
All I can say is hola, bonjour, and yeah, hello,
Oh, hola and bonjour, or is it bonjour, hola?
whichever way you want it.
All right. So, have you on here just to talk a little Stanley Cup. Haven't seen you in a couple weeks here. So, first of all, what do you think of the Stanley Cup four games in?
I think that this is a really interesting matchup, and this was actually the matchup I was hoping it would be. As we kind of saw the first couple rounds go by, and to me, what's really neat about this is both teams are absolutely killing each other in games, and I've got to give props to Vegas, who is really pulling out their A game here. So I'm excited to see how it all ends. But Florida's giving it their best, Vegas is giving it their best. This is probably one of the. I know it might not be one of the most exciting in a lot of fans' perspectives, but to me, I find it really entertaining. And honestly, this is probably a top dollar Stanley Cup final series in my eyes. So I'm loving the way it's playing out, and I look forward to seeing how it ends.
So, does it end tomorrow on Tuesday?
It's a good question. When Florida is up against a wall, I mean, not that they really had to be tested thus far into the playoffs. They know how to come out and perform. So I'm not so sure about that. I kind of think this might go down to 6. It might even go to 7. So we'll see.
So, for those fans who are watching, whatever Justin says, go opposite, probably will be over tomorrow. But speaking about somebody watching, Digit Murphy has just chimed in here. Digit Murphy, say hello to Justin. It's been a long time since I've seen you, Justin, and keep up the great work. That's from Digit Murphy, by the way. Digit's going to do the preview of Game 5 of Vegas and Florida. So, by the way, also wants to know, Justin, do you want my new digits? Digit wants to know if you want her new digits.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I don't. I'm going to tell the digit not to give you the new digits. Only me. I have the digits. All right. So let's look at in the next couple weeks. Of course, the draft happening and a lot of stuff happening with Maple Leafs and Calgary and everything like that. Your team is Montreal. Anything happening with Montreal? Let's start off with Montreal.
Cole Caulfield just got an 8-year extension signed to his name, which is a little bit under what Nick Suzuki got. So it's a very strong contract, and it'll keep him locked in for obviously quite a while. And I'm really excited about the potential that Cole Caulfield has in a full season when he's healthy. Obviously, at the end of the season, everyone on Montreal's roster was really fighting one thing or another. But having said that, again, there's so much opportunity with his young talent, and I think as he continues to develop, that potential is going to show. He's a star. We all saw what he did at the NDTP level, and we can all see what he's going to turn into in Montreal. And I think him and Nick Suzuki together I mean, this is the best situation you could possibly ask for the Canadians. However, having said that, they still have work to do. We know that, but this is a really encouraging start.
All right, so that's Montreal. Any direction do you think Montreal will go in the draft? Happen in a couple weeks.
That's a good question. I've been asked that a lot. I don't really have, much insight into what they might pull at the draft, but I think their first pick is number 6 or number 7, if I recall correctly. Um,
Yeah.
and there was one name I was hearing for quite some time, but about a week and a half ago, I heard that name change. So right now, I don't want to say anything, and put my name on that. But it sounds like they are contemplating a variety of different things that might even include trading their first pick with another club. Um, and that could be a leverage situation for in the GM's eyes. It could be, I don't know. I think right now what they're just kind of playing the field and seeing what opportunities are out there. Do I think they'll do it? No, but do I know they're keeping all options open? Yes.
All right. So, what do you think of the debacle that went down a couple weeks ago here in Toronto?
Um, it was interesting, right? I think we all know that that was a really interesting one. And yeah, this isn't the way you necessarily want things to end, but history was made, and now it's where do you go from here? Obviously, Kyle Dubas is gone, and that's maybe shocking to some, but what Brad Treliving can bring, he's a more experienced GM. And that might be a very good thing for Toronto. But in your first year, are you going to see anything major beyond Austin Matthews getting a well-deserved extension? I don't know. But
Is
obviously,
it well deserved?
is it well-deserved? Yeah, I think
He
so.
hasn't showed up in the playoffs, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he didn't show up in the playoffs, and yes, that was disappointing. But if you look at his overall time here, I do think if saying well deserved is a fair statement. But with big money comes the big reliability, meaning he has to come out and perform. So, some might even see it as taking a bet on Matthews, and that's okay too. But at the end of the day, a team without Matthews here in Toronto doesn't sound right, and I do think that that's the first party to get done.
So, what would you give him? Would you give him 15 million?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I'd go a little under that, to be honest. Again, that's just me. I'm not an avid Leafs fan nor someone who watches the Leafs, close enough to have that input. And is that fair to Matthews to get something like that? I mean, there'll be a lot of fans who assess just his regular season performances and say, "Yeah, absolutely. This is the new captain. This is the leader of our franchise moving forward." But again, when you look at his playoff performance, does that warrant that kind of money? It's hard to say. So I think it's going to be a little under that.
All right. So, what do you expect? You think it's the draft going to be a lot of trade activity there?
Yes, I think that more than ever before, we're going to see a lot of trades. Teams are going to be trading with each other in the days leading up. So yeah, I expect all teams to be very busy shopping, even more so than last year. From what I was hearing, again, last I checked in, which was when I heard what Montreal could do, is that all options seem to be open for a lot of franchises. Now, I don't have an exact number for you, but I do expect a lot of shopping to be done around the league with one another.
All right. So, let's get to more with Austin Matthews and specifically the Maple Leafs. And you have your ear to the ground there. Or you're like Elliot Friedman. Mitch Marner looks like he's definitely rumored, definitely on the block. Is that a mistake? Trading Mitch Marner and keeping Matthews, or what do you say?
That's a good question. I've heard that.
You said all my questions are good so far. Thank you for that. First of all, you have said every question is good. I'm the president of the province of Canada. What do you want? But go ahead.
Yeah. As I was saying, Mitch Marner, I think if you shop him, you need to get something that's not only matches value, but is even better than Marner is. And Marner and Matthews, when they work together on any given day, is, I mean, a gift to Toronto. It's a gift to their fans. So I think it's even hard for me to imagine Marner not being in a Leafs jersey after this time. Again, specifically playing alongside Matthews. So I don't think it's going to happen. But it would have to be a really, really good return if it was. And right now, I don't really know, especially with the new GM in town. I don't know what direction this franchise is headed, and I don't know what they could be looking for. So no, I don't see Marner being moved anytime soon.
And they brought in Shane Doan as a special assistant to their new GM. A very good pickup. Shane Doan, of course, an idol of Austin Matthews there as well. All right. So last question, NHL, and then we'll get to the PHF. Arizona, Phoenix specifically. This year they're still going to play. Next year, where are they going to be?
I don't know. I've continued to hear Houston.
Wait. That's a good question. Say it.
I mean, it is, but anyways, I've heard Houston. I've heard more and more so recently Salt Lake City. They apparently really want an NHL team and are willing to pull the funds together to make it happen. That could be a really interesting option. And I don't know how much the NHL actually wants to go to Houston, despite the fact that the city wants a team. But it really sounds like Salt Lake City actually has a really good shot if they do want one. So I'm curious to see where that goes. But that could be a possibility.
All right, so you're also the media relations director for the Toronto Six. Let's talk about the champion Toronto Six. By the way, the Argos get a ring next Sunday. Is there any talk of giving the only guy who promoted the Toronto Six from the start to the air? I even got the mascot Marty Kipling as the mascot and everything like that. Come on, if anybody deserves a ring, yes, you should get a ring. But come on. Tell Angela James, tell somebody, President of the Province of Canada deserves a ring, no?
I can always talk to management about it, but regardless, I think we're still a couple months away from the actual receiving of rings. But
Are you getting a ring?
Yeah, and
did they tell you you're getting a ring?
Yes, they did.
Wait a minute. Are they what are your thoughts on are they giving you thoughts on the ring, or is it going to be like a 6 ring, or like give the fans everybody wants to know the ring. Everybody saw what the Argos ring looks like. Come on, give us a snippet what the 6 ring looks like.
I hate to do this, but I actually haven't even seen it. The players are working on it amongst each other, so I haven't yet seen a draft of it, but it's expected to be really nice. And based on the last thing I'd heard that they were wanting it to, how they were wanting the build to go, it's going to be really, really nice when it's done.
Okay, hold on. Do you get a day with the Isabel Cup? Because Taylor's got a week with the Isabel Cup from July 11th to July 18th. How about you?
I know I get a couple days at least with it.
No. Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase this. Taylor lives in Beamsville or wherever. I'm never going to go there, right? You live come on. You live like 5 minutes away. You're going to bring the cup to me, aren't you? You're gonna bring the Isabel Cup to me, aren't you? We're gonna dance the hora with it, right? I'm gonna toss it up there like Tom Brady did on that boat. We'll throw it like this and everything like that. No, yes or no?
I mean, again, I got a couple days with it. I don't know when, but I know that I get it. So we'll see what the festivities look like.
What are you seriously? All seriously, what are you doing? Have you thought even what are you going to do with the Isabel Cup? I know you're going to have pictures with it and all that, but what are you going to do?
Honestly, I haven't really gone there yet. I'm not sure if it's going to be during the summer or if it's going to be kind of into September. So we'll see based on when I receive it.
You like the dancing with the aura and all that. How about I'm the president of provinces of Canada. I'm going to bring in Eric Cohen and all that. My good friend Maxwell Jacob Freeman. I'm doing the recircumcision of him. Can you bring the Isabel Cup for the recircumcision of that? We'll dance the aura. Eric Cohen will give us red wine. Eric Cohen likes red wine. You like red wine?
Depends on the day.
What do you mean? It's the Isabel Cup celebration. What day you depend on, man? You never have a chance again with the Isabel Cup, will you? They're not going to win back to back years.
No, but they could win back to back years.
Yeah, but if they win back to back years, I get that cup, not you. The second year, I'll give you the first. But honestly, like, have you ever thought of what you're going to do, or is people your family, or like, are you gonna, like, for Christmas time, everybody takes a family picture around the tree and everything like that? How about you?
What I've thought about doing is taking it back to my high school at the very least, or even, I don't know,
Aren't you
university.
still in high school? What do you mean you take it back to the high school? You just finished high school last year.
No, no, no. Finished that a long, long time ago.
Oh, okay,
But
sorry.
thinking of a couple things I could do. That's among them. Obviously, going to take it to my extended family, and
Well, I'm part of your extended family, right? You keep it in the tribe, right?
I mean, hey, yeah, I
We're
guess so,
catching the
right?
Laura with the Isabel Cup, man. Come on. All right. So let's look at the PHF here. Season, now it's off season, but a lot of signings. What's going on with the Toronto Six? Just give us a snippet of Toronto Six.
Yeah, so far we've made 6 signings. That includes Carly Jackson, Elaine Chuli, Cheyenne Darkangelo, newcomer Claire Dalton, Soroya Tinker, and defender Taylor Davison. This is only the start of a really busy offseason for us. We should have an announcement coming out tomorrow, which would be number 7. Obviously, Daryl Watts is returning for another year in the second year of her 2-year agreement with the team. And after that, just keep your eyes peeled to the Toronto Six website. We'll have signings rolling out probably right through until mid-September.
Mid-September. All right. And again, are season tickets available yet?
Actually, they are. You can get season tickets as of this weekend at Toronto 6, which is 6ix.universitytickets.com. There is a preseason ticket sale going on. Make sure to get your tickets there.
All right, go get your season tickets for the reigning defending PHF champions. And let's talk about the other league, okay, where females, the PWHPA. Anything about merging once again? What do you hear? Because that RBC, golf championship in Oakville, you saw Sarah Nurse there all the time. She's all over the place. And anything new with sort of merging the leagues again?
Honestly, since February, there's been absolutely no developments. I mean, the last thing I heard was they were working on a CBA with the Billie Jean King Enterprises, as well as the Mark Walters Group, who is a part owner in the Los Angeles Dodgers of Major League Baseball. Since then, absolutely not a single thing with regards to their own league, never mind a merger between the two. So having said that, I don't anticipate anything looks different this year. And honestly, at this point, I'm not even confident there will be a second league this year. But again, this is all nothing more than speculation. But yeah, it's been silent ever since.
Since I have you on for the last closing minutes here, you want to touch anything about the Memorial Cup, especially your goalie, because I say it's your goalie, Patrick Waugh, should be a coach. Maybe he should be a new coach of Maple Leafs.
I mean, that
He's
yeah,
actually, I'm going to
that's
tell you, he's not going to be the coach of Maple Leafs, but you know who? Ask me where he's going to be the coach.
where might he be the coach?
Thank you. Great question. Great question, Justin. New York Rangers.
You know, it's funny because I was just going to say the same thing.
No. You weren't going to say the same thing. No. You
I've
weren't.
heard the connection to him for the last, I guess, 4 or 5 days. And what's interesting to me is the New York media believes that's not going to happen. So, is it more than just a belief? Is there somebody who knows something? I don't know. But like you, I've heard that, and I'm curious to see if that does happen. I think it would be a great thing if Waugh re-enters the NHL behind the bench. I think that would be a great thing for the sport.
It's just a question of time till he re-enters. He did a great job with the Ramparts. They captured the Memorial Cup and did an amazing job. He's got a shave though. Okay,
Oh yeah.
Patrick Waugh, you don't think of Patrick Waugh with that beard and everything like that. He's 56 years old. Come on, he's gonna. And I'm telling you right now, the new age coaches in the NHL, watch the Rangers next year. Watch them in the next 2-3 years if they do hire him, because you see something special with Patrick Waugh. And speak about the Rangers, Patrick Kane, 6 months with hip surgery, gone 6 months with hip surgery. So a little bit of a blow for the Rangers there. But any other thing in the sporting world that you want to touch on that we haven't touched on? Because I know you're a big fan of tennis. Djokovic today.
Yeah, that was really cool to see Novak Djokovic make history with his 23rd Grand Slam title, which now goes over Rafael Nadal, who has been out due to injury the last couple of months. Unfortunate for him, but for Novak Djokovic to make history and kind of reclaim his number one spot on the men's leaderboard is such a cool thing for this sport and the ATP. So that was really fun to see. And then on the women's side, Iga Swiatek, she won for the WTA, which is the women's side. She's been marvelous, and this is her fourth Grand Slam. So really cool to see how this tournament has played out. And now it's on to the next thing in the Netherlands, where Canadian Bianca Andreescu is getting ready for what sounds like another go at it. She left France as soon as she was eliminated, and that should be another fun tournament, which I think starts in the next couple of days. And then lastly, the Blue Jays, after back-to-back losses to Minnesota this weekend in Toronto, came back and won today 7-6 at Rogers Center, thanks to a Kevin Biggio 3-run homer and a closeout from Jordan Romano. So that was really neat.
All right, Justin, say big up to Drew Ebanks. Come on, well,
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you
no,
doing?
you listen. If you're gonna give big ups, you gotta come down from your stomach. Big up. Come on, like that. Come on. Drew knows that. He
Big up.
expects that.
Good to
For
see
the
you.
diaphragm. Yeah, how you doing? Just
Not bad. How are
good,
you?
man. Hanging in.
All right,
Been
Drew,
running around
why you
doing my
sound
thing.
half dead here? All right, Justin, you want to stay on for a little basketball talk, or you're busy?
I actually have to run, otherwise I
All right.
would. But thank you for
Remember, with
having
the
me.
Isabel Cup, we're gonna dance
Yeah,
the aura. Bring it here, okay? So
sounds good.
that's it. That's Justin Levine. Check him out. Justin, we'll talk soon. We're joined by Drew Ebanks, Captain Canada, on pointbasketball.com to talk about the NBA Finals. He was Alex Campbell did an amazing job here. Fired up Alex did an amazing job while we were doing. What were you doing the last couple games here? What were you doing?
Just living life, man. Living the dream. I'm out. I'm watching ball. I'm, having fun. This is a
So
great
you've
time.
been watching your balls, or you're playing with balls?
Nah, just watching the game. That's it. I'll
All
leave it at
right.
that.
Speak about the game. Let's talk. Shut up. Let's
Woo.
talk about Raptors' new head coach. And like I told you, he's going to go out of left field. All right, out of left field,
Well,
signing formerly Memphis assistant, the first Serbian head coach. And I got news on him. Drew, you want to tell everybody who it is and what you expect, because I got news on him.
Well, I mean, I don't know what a lot, to be honest with you, about Darko Rajakovic. I guess that's
Djokovic.
Rajokovic. I don't know a lot about him. I know he's highly regarded. They asked actually even the Joker about him, and he's obviously knows him being Serbian and in the basketball scene, and he thinks really highly of him and is happy that the Raptors are actually signed him. He comes well regarded, as I said. He was with the Memphis Grizzlies most recently, also coached in the G League as well. So it's interesting how he's more of a player development kind of coach. So it's interesting how the Raptors are kind of going about things. The way I look at it, if you hire somebody like this who's really unknown, yes, he may be well established as far as NBA circles, but hiring an unknown coach like this, I think signals that this is kind of a franchise in rebuilding mode. He's more of a guy that's going to work with players' deficiencies, get them to play better, get them to play to their strengths. And that means you need time. And that means you need playing time for these guys to kind of see that come through. So it'll be interesting to see what moves come after this. We know, players like Fred Van Vliet, we know players like OG Anunoby are very coveted throughout the league, Joe. So, this could be signaling the Raptors kind of changing their focus from going for championships and maybe pausing a little bit for another couple of years, getting things back on, and then trying to maybe land a big free agent, maybe even this summer, and then change and turn things around.
Hold on. Like my good friend says, are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? This, you don't even know why they did this. He is a coach who develops talent, stagnant talent. Where Fred Van Fleet, after the second year, has been stagnant.
Mhm.
OG has been stagnant. Um, you name anybody, Gary Trent, anybody has been stagnant here. They have Scotty Barnes, sophomore, really wasn't great. They're expecting him to develop these young talents mixed up with he's going after a superstar. That's what I have heard. They're going after, first of all, I'll clear up some stuff here. All right. He got hired. He impressed Usaya Ujiri, Bobby Webster, with his composure, with his schematics of plans. He had a plan from the get go. This is what I want to do. I took a listen or I took a watch at your roster. He even asked, okay, if this guy Mosai, if this guy is gone through free agency and all that, where do you see him? He's talking about Fred Van Fleet. Fred Van Fleet, from what I hear, is going to join his friend Nick Nurse in Philadelphia. All right. So do they give Malachi a more of a role there? We don't know. Do they go after some point guards? We don't know. But I have heard the Raptors are in the mix to getting um, to doing a blockbuster deal. I don't know who it is with a blockbuster deal, and I have heard some names mentioned that maybe Memphis Grizzlies coming to the Raptors. Interesting to see Memphis because the coach is assistant coach of Memphis or was assistant coach of Memphis. So if you look at Memphis, who do they have that can be good for the Raptors?
Who do they have? I mean,
Yeah,
lots of players. I mean, John Morant maybe, but if he
I know.
straightens
We're
out,
not talking about John Morant.
I mean,
There's
they'll
one
look.
player that was on Memphis. Now he's, I believe, on Charlotte or whatever, and it's a big man, and he was a former Raptor.
That's on Charlotte right now.
No, he's not on Charlotte. He's I think New Orleans. Jonas Valanciunas.
Yes.
Jonas Valanciunas. This guy, the assistant coach, now the coach of the Raptors, him and Jonas have become best friends. Maybe. And what was the glaring weakness for the Raptors? Center.
Yeah, and they got Pirtle, and then they played Pirtle for 2 weeks, and he did well, and then they stopped playing Pirtle.
So hold on. So what about Jonas gets at center? He's a 2010. Okay, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Okay. They got Pirtle, power forward, and they move down or they trade Pascal. If they move him down, it's a small forward. You got a good lineup then. You
You're
got
going to
a
get
good
rid of Pascal, and you're going to go with Pirtle as your four. That's
that
interesting.
that I'm not saying they're gonna part of a blockbuster deal. Who either OG or Pascal? Who else? They're not. I don't think they're gonna trade Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes could play power forward too. I think Scotty Barnes with Jonas would be a good combination.
Well, yeah, I mean the league is going more small ball, more guys that are 6'8", 6'9" at the center spot, even at times during games. And yeah, for power forward, it would be interesting. I mean, I think with Scotty, he's going to be quicker than power forwards on offense, for sure. If you put big guys on him, if you put small guys on him, he's going to be able to abuse them in the paint. But also defending, you got to look at it at the other end. Scotty is going to have to defend big players as well. So it'd be interesting how they're going to fit it all in and who's going to move, who's going to join the team. But the versatility, from what I'm reading in the reports about the coach, the new head coach, is he can deal with a team that's got veteran guys, that's like a real top team, or he can deal with teams where you have to develop the talent. So I think the Raptors are going to see what kind of roster they have, what this guy can get out of these players. Obviously, we can see that they underperformed, but I think it was more lack of bodies at times, and then the size deficit they have at the guard spot with Fred Van Vliet being your point guard. That I think they need to address as well. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. You love fresh blood, as they say, especially in the coaching ranks. We're always used to them recycling the same coaches, and we always complain, why does so and so get the job again? Why not give it to someone new or someone? And now we get someone new, and now people are complaining like, who is this guy? Who is this Darko guy? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But as usual, Joe, as you know, Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster, especially Masai, think outside the box. And who knows, this could be another, epic move for the Toronto Raptors.
And then when you look at not only Masai, Udoka, formerly of Boston, now I believe he went to Houston. That wasn't a popular move. Nobody knew who he was and all that, right? So it's again the NBA is tending to go. Of course, you got Pop, and Pop's now going to have the number one pick again, and like it's crazy to think what San Antonio is going to be. Maybe as soon as this year, probably in next 2 or 3 years, and who knows if Pop is going to be coaching 2 or 3 years.
Uh-huh.
But with all this, it's a youngsters game. Sam Cassell getting hired also in Boston, assistant coaches and all that. Kid back, so younger, hipper, faster. It's fantastic there. All right,
And
quick.
also, just to quickly point out, the Raptors, it kind of slipped my mind that we got the 13th pick this year
Yeah.
in the draft. So, I mean, at 13, you got to believe the Raptors can pick up a good player, or they can use that, ship it out, and try to get that veteran stud, that they've been kind of searching for, obviously, since the title. How about a guy like Damian Lillard? Interesting, huh?
All right, so
Oh,
funny you should mention that because that was see, you're reading my mind, which is
I
not
do that. I'm on point. You know that.
what
Come on
what
now.
what, what does my mind say? What does my
Your
mind say?
mind says say what you're going to say. You know me. I'm always thinking ahead. The Raptors are in
Say what I
play for
was gonna
Damian
say.
Lillard.
Well, you won't know what I was. You don't want to know what I was
The
gonna.
Raps are
Wake
in
up! Wake
play for
up!
Damian
All right.
Lillard. That's what you're going to say.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. All right, I mash up your face. Mash up your face. Now look here, Damian Lillard. I hear either signing back with Portland,
No,
Miami,
can't see that.
going to Miami,
I can see Miami. I can't see Portland.
or
Portland,
shocking the system and going to New York.
New York Knicks. Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's talk, which is kind of sad to hear. RJ Barrett rumors getting moved out. He's coveted in other markets. I don't know. New York should realize how, what a great guy he is. And when you look at the two players selected above him, I mean, RJ's looking like a saint out there. When you look at Zion Williamson, the shenanigans the last week, and then, of course, John Morant, who could be out for a significant amount of time in the NBA. So sometimes you think the grass is greener, but you know what, Joe? It's New York. It's the Mecca. I can only imagine Damian Lillard dropping those deep threes and those game winners in NYC. It would be absolutely epic and magical for sure.
Yeah, you're just friends with Spike Lee, and that's all that matters to
I met him
you.
once. I met him out at the club once, just hanging out. Went up
And
to
did
him,
he?
said
What
what's
color
up.
glasses was he wearing? Pink, yellow, blue? What color
I
glasses?
can't remember, but he was cool. I went over, said what's up, and it wasn't like he was trying to get away from people. He was pretty chilled.
All right, let's close it out here with a little Canadian basketball talk. Let's talk about the CBL. Great victory for the Scarborough Shooting Stars today over Montreal, 104-72.
Wow,
104-72.
that's a win. Our own Priscilla was out there. We posted some stories. Make sure you check On Point Basketball on the gram to check that out. But the Lions, they were trying to turn things around after a rough inaugural season last year, but it didn't happen in this game. Great to see my guy Mike Kabongo get on the floor. 13 minutes for him, scored 5 points. Cat Barber been holding it down for the Scarborough Shooting Stars all season, especially with Jalen Harris up and down, in the lineup and out in NBA circles, in G League circles as well. So good to see Cat Barber continuing 26 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Cam Chapman, and I pointed this out, Joe. Cam Chapman was one of the studs for the Scarborough Shooting Stars. Very versatile player, can play on both ends, lefty. He's been inserted into the starting lineup for Scarborough now. 21 points, 7 rebounds on the game, and 3 assists as well. 28 minutes. Good to see him doing his thing. David Mooncat, another good young Canadian, 19 points. He's tough. 14 rebounds for him. And also, this is impressive, Joe. David Walker of TMU Ryerson, David Walker getting into the game, 11 points for him in this one, 2 steals in 17 minutes, his first action of the year. getting it done. And off the bench, who was the starting forward, Thomas Kennedy to U Sports. I was about to say CIAU for some reason. That is a way back, and even CIS is way back. But Thomas Kennedy, 21 points, 8 rebounds for him, 3 assists in the ball game, and 4 blocks for Big TK. Shout out his father as well, who's a very big basketball enthusiast. Loves to watch his son play the game as well. So no, it was a performance and a half for Scarborough. I didn't think they were going to go to Montreal, Joe, and 30-piece the Alliance in this one. For the Alliance, they had a good performance from a few players as well. Trevor Graham, 27 points for him, 15 rebounds. Also, Blake Francis, 16 points. Elijah Ephige, 16. And let's see if any Canadians did anything really. Not to Alain Louis, the starting guard, the other guard there, 11 points for him, 6 rebounds. So, man, Scarborough went in and had to get a must win as well. And I sent a message just now to Sam Ibrahim saying, congratulations on a big win for Scarborough.
Sam Ibrahim was just texting me and says, "Tell that guy Drew, don't even mention his name unless Captain Canada really pays him for the season tickets." So what's going on there? All right, you don't pay for your
I
season
pay all
tickets.
right. I pay out my yin yang for those.
Yin
Those
yang.
aren't cheap.
All right,
Those are not
so
cheap.
we'll conclude with this. I don't know if we're gonna do Drew Ebanks and Alex Campbell a preview of Game 5, but we definitely do a post game, especially if Denver wins the NBA Delirio B Trophy tomorrow. So the post game about 11 o'clock. Maybe Drew comes on, maybe not. But Drew has worked hard. Drew, I got something for you. All right, I got something for you. And now, if I could find it, I got something for you. Drew, you've been working so hard over the last 78 years.
Life, yeah, exactly. For
Over
my
the
life.
last 78 years. I'm trying to find it. Hold on here.
Whew.
Trying to find it.
I
All right.
tell you.
I'm trying to. Anyways, I'll give it to you after. But I'm sending you to Mexico. Yes, I'm sending you to Mexico on Tuesday. All right, Drew. I'm sending you to Mexico. Big up! Big up! Big up to Sunwing! Sunwing gave me this and said, I can't use it. I can't use it. It's Father's Day. It's, I have to take care of my family and everything like that. I have to hopefully maybe this week propose. All right, maybe. But yeah, all right, Drew. You know what proposing is? Proposing is you got to go down on your knee
I do
and
not.
pray to God that you find the right lady that you want to be with the rest of your life, and that won't happen for you. Big up
That's
that. Hopefully, in Mexico, you do that, and if you do that, you owe me your life there. All right.
that's a serious thing right there,
So
brother.
are you not seriously thinking? I don't even know if you have a lady or not.
I
So
do,
are you
yes.
not thinking of that or not?
Well, not for this trip.
If I'm tricking you, wait a minute.
I
If I'm
gotta be.
giving you, this doesn't cost. This costs a lot. Maybe
I
two,
gotta
three
be
grand.
prepared. You can't just do that one on the whim. You got to get everything right, brother.
What do you mean? What do you need to get everything right? You got a free trip from Fired Up Network, the president of province of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, the
Well,
mayor of Mexico. Oh yeah,
well,
llámame
first you got
allí
to
en
get a
Mexico.
ring. You first, in order to do that, you got to get a ring. So no ring
Wait a
can't be
minute, Drew.
much.
You didn't buy a ring. You didn't buy a ring,
Not that kind of trip.
what kind of trip is this?
It's just a vacation, get away,
Get
have a
away
little
from
fun,
who?
enjoy life.
Get away from
Yeah,
who?
get away from who? Wouldn't you like to know? Need a break, man. Need a break before everything starts up. Pretty much after that.
All right, big ups. All right, so who do you got in Game 5? Miami or Denver?
I think it's over. I think Denver is going home. There is no way on earth they want to go back to Miami and risk losing a game 6 and having to play a game 7. They feel it. You can see it. Miami's talking all this big talk about they're confident and they're the tough team and resilient, whatever. The better team ultimately is going to win this. The team with the best player, arguably the best player in the world at this point in time. And what Jamal Murray's doing is not very far from that either. Best duo in the NBA right now, and also 4 games straight with double-digit assists. The only other player to do that, Magic Johnson, in their first 4 finals appearances with Jamal Murray. So phenomenal to see him doing his thing. Can't wait to get out to Kitchener when they bring that trophy home, the Larry O.B. to Kitchener-Waterloo. I will be there, no
You
doubt, if I
won't,
can
because
make
you're
it.
going to be in Mexico.
No, that they're going to take time before they do that. That's not coming this week. We're not a parade. First of all, they're going to have a parade in Denver, and then during the summer now, each player gets a period of time. I believe it's a week or a couple days or whatever, a few days to have the trophy. So whenever they decide to bring it back, I definitely I want to be on point, on location for that. I've been to two, Corey Joseph and Tristan Thompson. I've been to both of those events, and it was fantastic.
Was it Kardashian at Tristan Thompson's?
No, this was before the Kardashians. Well before the Kardashians.
Did you give them big up to the Kardashian?
No, I'm good. I mean, I'm all right. I only give up big up to the ball players,
So you're not even going to give me a big up after I gave you a trip to Mexico?
Appreciate it, brother.
No,
Appreciate
I need
it,
a
man.
big ups.
All the hard
I need a
work.
big ups.
Big up.
No,
That's from all the hard work.
That's a terrible big up.
I can't bring it from down there right
up.
now. I don't got no energy to bring it from down there. I got allergies.
So you're got allergies. That's why it's so big up, eh? So
big up.
All right, it's about time. All right, mash up your face. All right, look, here it is. So you're calling Denver to win. There's going to be a party like 1999 in Denver. Now, in Denver, what is there to do in Denver? Why do they call it? I want you to do investigations. Investigate why they call it the Mile High City. And are they going to be very high when they have this championship?
Well, yeah, the elevation there, the altitude, it's way up there, brother. That's why.
Are you telling me the truth there or not?
100%. It is about where they play and that altitude up in Denver. That's why they have a little bit of a built-in advantage.
So they're not going to be even higher when they win the Larry O.B. on Monday?
Yeah, well, who knows, man. They're going to be feeling good, put it that way.
They're feeling good. All right, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you on this special Sunday night edition of Beyond the Score.
The usual, where to find me, but I just want to quickly, before I say that, shout out the Calgary Surge. We didn't mention them.
Didn't mention. I gave you the opportunity.
They played today, and Steph Smith, my guy, he was
every guy's your guy.
Towards the end of the season last year in the G League, he had a little run with the Raptors 905. Wasn't able to show everything, but man, 21 points for him, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. Big up to him. Also good to see Simi Shitu, who's had a few years with the NBA G League affiliate of the Chicago Bulls. Him back in the country. 8. What is it here? How many points did he have? Shoot, sorry, my bad. Steph Smith had 12 points. I was reading the index there instead of the actual score. Sean Miller-Moore, Ruggsy. Shout out Ruggsy, 20 points for Ruggsy, 8 of 16 shooting. And as mentioned, Simi Shitu, 10 points. So, Calgary, man, first year in the mix. Shane James and the crew getting it done out in Calgary, 80-63 over the Rattlers in that one. The Rattlers, have some great young Canadians as well. So good to see them doing their thing in the G League. You know where to find me: On Point Basketball, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Drew Ebanks on Twitter. And don't forget to check onpointbasketball.com. We got articles on Canadian basketball on the CBL as well. So check it out when you get a chance. On Point Basketball.
And finally, Sue Bird retiring her jersey today in the WNBA there. Thoughts on Sue Bird?
Sue Bird, legend. She's been around. What's she going to do next? That's the key for Sue Bird. But what an absolute career for her. UConn legend, and did her thing in the WNBA. Just phenomenal to see her being honored. And as a segue, Hoop Queens Women's League was on today. We were there. We had a blast. Man, it was so good to see all the basketball people. Last week, Nikhil Alexander-Walker was there. He wasn't there this week. Lachey Dwyer, Cheyenne Day Wilson, and also Latasha Lattimore. They're the big trio from Canada that's going to be with the Miami Hurricanes women's basketball team. They were definitely in the building. Shout out Kisa. Joe, you got to come through and check out Hoop Queens one weekend, man. It's Sundays, 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. great to see women's basketball. They got Nike on board. They got Red Bull. They got BioSteel. They got all these brands on board supporting women's basketball, and phenomenal to see them doing what they're doing
Maybe
today.
next week, get her on here. Get her on.
Yeah, we'll definitely get her on the show. Shout out Kashana Washington out of Drexel. She set all types of records. She was player of the game in game 1. And Sarah Gates was player of the game in game 2 in their win. So, yeah, it's going to be great. Unfortunately, I will miss next week because you're sending me on vacation finally to Cancun. But I'll be back the week after the following Sunday to check out Hoop Queens action. Make sure you check them out. Hoop Queens TO on the gram. Joe, where you at?
Have Drew has left us. We just had a technical difficulty with Drew there, but you've been watching Beyond the Score, a Sunday night special, and we're back. And stay tuned for more great programming tomorrow here on the Fired Up Network. We'll have a preview and a review of the NBA Finals, plus Rumac and the Greek will be on as well. Have a great rest of the weekend. Joseph Pasek